Most of the kombucha sold in shops is barely alive. The living part, the part that actually does something, is that strange pale disc floating at the top of the jar. And once you understand what your Kombucha SCOBY really is, you will never look at this drink the same way again. Welcome to Good Gut Feeling. I'm so glad you're here. This is a space where we slow down, explore fermentation together, and discover what it means to truly nourish your body from the inside out. Today we are going to look closely at kombucha fermentation, not as a recipe, but as a living process. By the end, you will understand what lives inside that SCOBY, how sweet tea becomes a sour, fizzy drink, and what the acids it makes actually do once they reach your gut. And we will be honest about what the science really supports and what it does not. Because the noise around this drink is loud, and a little clarity goes a long way. Let's start at the heart of it, the Kombucha SCOBY. The word is an acronym, a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, and that one word, symbiotic, is really the whole story. The pale, rubbery disc is not the organism itself. It is a home that the organisms build. A bacterium with a long name, Kombucha, spins fine threads of cellulose, layer upon layer, until they knit into that firm, wet mat. In a typical kombucha culture, this single group of bacteria can make up around 70% of all the bacteria present. So picture the jar as a tiny, layered world. Down in the liquid live the yeasts. Up at the surface where the air is live the acid-making bacteria. The mat holds each of them in exactly the place they need to be. There's a lovely detail here. That cellulose mat grows thicker and stronger when the brew is made with real tea, rather than a herbal infusion. Remove the tea, and the mat slowly becomes thin and fragile. The leaves are not only for flavor, they are part of the structure. And the mat always forms at the surface because the acid-making bacteria need air to breathe. That is why a new SCOBY grows as a flat, pale layer across the top, a little like skin forming on warm milk. It is not a lump of mold, and it is not dead. It is a living community, quietly organizing itself. So how is kombucha made? It happens in 2 quiet steps, and understanding them tells you more than any single recipe ever could. First, you start with sweet tea, real tea from the camellia plant, with sugar dissolved into it while it is warm. The yeasts go first. They eat the sugar and release 2 things, a little alcohol and carbon dioxide. Then the bacteria take their turn. The acid makers, sitting at the oxygen-rich surface, take that alcohol and slowly convert it into a family of organic acids. This is why a sweet, mild tea becomes a sharp, tangy drink over roughly 7 to 14 days at room temperature. Around 18 to 26 degrees Celsius, that is 64 to 79 Fahrenheit. You also pour in a cup of finished kombucha from a previous batch to begin. That starter liquid is already acidic, and that low pH quietly protects the young brew while the culture finds its feet. You can almost follow the change by smell, sweet and a little bready in the first days, then slowly turning bright, clean, and gently vinegary as the acids build. And there is often a second fermentation. You pour the finished kombucha into a sealed bottle, sometimes with a little fruit, and leave it a day or 2. The bottle traps the carbon dioxide in the liquid. That trapped gas is where the gentle fizz comes from. Now, kombucha gut health is where this becomes genuinely interesting. Those organic acids are not just sour for the sake of it. Think of the SCOBY as a kind of external stomach. It pre-digests the tea for you, breaking simple sugar into a whole family of acids before the drink ever reaches your body. There is acetic acid, the same acid that gives vinegar its clean bite. There is gluconic acid, and there is glucuronic acid, the one researchers find most intriguing. Glucuronic acid is part of how the liver naturally packages up and clears certain compounds, everyday housekeeping that your body already does. In the jar, it is simply one sign that fermentation has gone well. Acetic acid puts gentle pressure on some less welcome bacteria in the gut, while leaving many of the helpful ones largely undisturbed. Picture a small, patient gardener, thinning out the weeds without trampling the flowers. That is closer to the truth than the idea of kombucha as a heavy antibiotic. Those same acids may also be part of why kombucha tends to be gentle on blood sugar. Acetic acid in particular has been shown to slow how quickly sugar enters the blood after a meal. And the gut research is quietly encouraging. A controlled study in 2024 found measurable shifts in the balance of gut bacteria when people drank kombucha regularly. Modest, but real. So, is kombucha healthy? Here, I want to be honest with you because the internet often is not. You will hear that kombucha detoxes your liver, melts fat, or cures disease. The careful answer is gentler, and in my view, more interesting. In human studies, the clearest signals so far are for digestive comfort and for steadier blood sugar. A small trial in 2023 saw improvements in fasting blood sugar in people with type 2 diabetes after a few weeks of daily kombucha. A 2025 review that gathered the human trials together reached a similar, measured conclusion. Real but modest benefits for gut symptoms and the balance of gut bacteria, while the effect on blood fats was not convincing. That is the honest shape of the evidence today. The bigger claims, detox, cancer prevention, dramatic weight loss, mostly come from animal or laboratory studies. Interesting, worth following, but not the same as proof in people. And that word probiotic, kombucha does contain living microbes, yes, but it is not a high-dose probiotic supplement. It is gentler than that. So I'd invite you to think of kombucha as a living food, not a medicine. That framing is honest, and it is still wonderful. This brings us to the kombucha drink you find on the shelf. Many of them are pasteurized. Pasteurizing means the drink is gently heated for a longer shelf life. The flavor can still be pleasant, but the living cultures are no longer active. The alive part is gone. So, when you read a label, look for the words raw or unpasteurized and a short, honest ingredient list. Be a little cautious of bottles with a lot of added sugar, fruit juice from concentrate, or vague natural flavors. The shorter the list, the closer you are to real kombucha. The shorter the list, the closer you are to real food. And this is the quiet joy of brewing at home. You choose the tea, the sugar, how sour it becomes, how much fizz it carries. The drink becomes yours, alive and changing on your own counter. If you have watched our water kefir episode, you will recognize the pattern, a living culture, quietly turning something simple into something far more complex. Living things deserve a little respect, so let's talk safety, calmly. As kombucha ferments, it grows acidic, dropping to a pH of around 2.5 to 3.5. That acidity is actually part of what keeps it safe from unwanted visitors. There's a small amount of alcohol in kombucha, usually under 0.5%. If you brew at home and leave it much longer than planned, both the sourness and that trace of alcohol can slowly climb. Keeping the finished bottle in the fridge slows everything down, which is exactly what you want once it tastes the way you like it. We looked at the alcohol question more closely in why your gut doesn't need more probiotics, if you are curious about that side of it. Over-fermenting does not make it dangerous. It mostly makes it very sharp, like a young vinegar. And if you are pregnant or your immune system is compromised, it is worth a quick word with your doctor before drinking the raw, homemade kind. So here is what I hope stays with you. That strange disc is not a flaw, and it is not waste. It is an entire living community, quietly turning sweet tea into something complex, sour, and alive. Kombucha is not a miracle, but it is real food. Ancient, honest, and genuinely fascinating once you know what is happening inside the jar. I would love to hear from you. Are you already brewing kombucha at home, or has that floating disc always made you a little uneasy? Tell me in the comments. This little community learns something from every single jar. If this gave you something, a new idea, a little more clarity, a reason to look at that jar differently, I'd be so grateful if you liked this video and subscribed to Good Gut Feeling. This community grows one person at a time, and that one person matters enormously. Until next time, take good care of yourself, inside and out.